Hi Richard, how are you doing? You okay?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Good, thank you. So tell me a bit about where we are today and who you are. And
Well, we're at Villiers Farm in Leicestershire, and we are RAC Contractors Limited.
yeah,
We have a small farm here and do a bit of some grass
yeah,
and a little bit of arable, but our main enterprise is contracting.
yes. So you no-till on your arable side, full till? Or?
Absolutely no-till.
Yes.
Trying not to move the soil at all.
Yeah,
Did a bit of straw raking last year, and we do have a low disturbance subsoiler, but the aim is not to use it unless absolutely forced.
yeah, okay. So why did you go down that route, you know?
I think I listened to a chat, Gary Zimmer, 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And what he was talking about, biological farming, appealed.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep putting chemicals on the land. I don't like fungicides, don't like herbicides where I can get away with not using them. So we saw the drill advertised. I think it was as Opico had just started to bring them into the UK. We asked them if we could have a demonstration. I spoke to various customers of ours about trialling the drill, and we had that much interest that we'd never had the demonstration. We just bought the drill.
Okay.
So I think it was probably the first commercial drill they'd sold in the UK. And we love it, and this is still the same drill, and we do a lot of work with it.
Yeah. So how have you got round reducing your chemical usage? You say you don't like to use your chemicals.
We found that leaving the blackgrass on the surface, totally on the surface, it disappears. We've got a lot less blackgrass. We are still using chemicals, but we are not using anything like as much chemical now as we were. This year it seems to have worked particularly well. Whether that's, we've had plenty of moisture, haven't we? From day one. But we're just finding that leaving that blackgrass on the surface undisturbed, totally undisturbed, we've got a lot less weed generally, and the drill doesn't move an awful lot of soil, and I think that's why we're getting the success.
Yeah, we're not turning it over, you've just got away with that weed bank.
Yes.
So do you do your companion crop in there too?
We do use companion crops with the oilseed rape particularly, but and we are still looking at with the new SFI grants. We're looking at what we can grow companion cropping right. At the moment, the wheat is grown as a pure standard wheat home saved seed. No seed dressings, but we do use amendments, if that's what you want to call them. We drill fertilizer and biology with the seed while we're drilling.
That's what the tank on the front of the tractor's for?
Yeah, it is, It takes quite a bit of time. You've got to think about what you're doing with the brewing. You've got to think in advance. Most of our product comes from Ava fertilizers. They're doing a lot of work on it, and they're now telling us, whereas we thought the brew would only live for 24 hours once we'd brewed it, they're now telling us that it probably will live for 7 days. Okay. Which will make life a little bit easier because
bigger window.
You've got to be on the weather and watching the weather, and for 7 days, for 24 hours, you've got to be looking very closely and trying to plan it. It does slow the job down. But I think it's well worth it. Like I said, we're trying not to put fungicide on the soil at all. We did use one fungicide last year at T2. Septoria was not particularly good. We've got more than we would like to see. I then looked at some neighbouring farms who I think will have gone through 3 or 4 times with the fungicide, and I think they've got more Septoria than we had. So we can do it without, but we've had 2 challenging. Last spring was challenging, and this spring is probably more challenging than last year was. So it's not been easy.
No. So do you cover crop when you've not got your crops in?
Don't like to see the ground bare for anything. If we've got a 6-week window, we'll put a crop in the ground. We have 2 pneumatic spreaders. If conditions are right, we will broadcast cover crop into the standing crop before harvest. But we do think we get better results where we're going with this and drill it with this.
So we say contractor, you doing much drilling with this for your customers, or is this just for?
No. It's drills probably 1,000 acres plus a year. Some years it's 2,000 acres. We have an organic customer who absolutely loves the drill. He will cultivate, he'll probably plough and cultivate, work as a seedbed, and we'll go and drill with this, but I think he likes the consolidation that the drill gives us. And we do get we've had some really good results, weeds aside. Because that's the biggest challenge in his, with not having the chemicals, that creates but actually getting the seed into the ground. When I drilled into some horrific conditions last spring with it, and he got, I mean, that was arable silage, he got reasonable crops at the end of the day.
Yes, good.
Yeah, the drill will drill into a good deal of, a lot of situations. We bought it because we thought it looked so versatile.
Yes.
And it has proved to be that. I mean, we've drilled, we direct drill with it, and we've drilled everything through to, we've actually drilled directly onto the plough seam without it being cultivated.
Yes. How did that go?
Very well.
Yeah.
We were actually trying to cultivate in front of it, and it was wet, and the cultivator kept bunging up, and I said to James, well, let's just see if we can drill onto the seam, and we did, and it worked quite nicely. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So you got any of your customers starting to embrace the no-till regenerative way as well, or is it just solely your own land?
We've got 2 farms that are now completely no-till. We do a lot. The remainder are, I suppose, pick and mix. Customers that do quite a bit of their own. We tend to do quite a lot of direct drilling after beans, where people have had beans in. After rape, where there's been rape in. Not the whole farm, we like I say, doing bits and pieces. But it works well after beans, after either winter or spring beans. After oilseed rape, that you can pretty much rely on getting a good result there. Not always so on a second wheat, or not so much so. I mean, we've had some very good results. Trouble is, being a contractor, we know what the drill will do. Some customers would like to think that they're challengers, and it doesn't. Like I say, they're the situations where it doesn't necessarily work.
So they taking the biostimulants you brew as well, are they?
Yes, not everybody.
No.
The Boost, which is sugars, and the Citadel from Ava, and micronutrients, phosphorus. We've had some very good results for people who don't see it quite the same way that we do with using Yara's NP liquid fertilizers with something like Boost. Got very good results there. And there are a great many new other things coming onto the market. We're using a fish hydrolysate seed to soil, which we're using this time for the first time. I'll tell you more.
What are the supposed benefits there?
There is some nitrogen in it, but it's soil improvement. Apparently it increases worm numbers. But it's all about life in the soil and increasing the biology in the soil to get things away. And of course it's a byproduct. It comes from the salmon industry up in Scotland. So instead of going to waste, it's
being utilised.
It's being utilised.
So should we go and have a look around one of the fields?
Yes,
have a look at a bit of soil.
Has anybody bring a spade?
There's one on this tractor. It's just spotted. Feels looking quite good considering the weather we've had.
Yes, I'm not too disappointed with it. We haven't spent a lot of money on it. It was oilseed rape last year. You can still see the stalks, and we just directed. Well, we tried to drill a catch crop into the oilseed rape, but I think we'd lost a little bit more oilseed rape than we wanted to, and the catch crop didn't do particularly well. We got a fair bit of linseed and some buckwheat and radish came through, and we just drilled directly into that. The oilseed rape was drilled with spring beans and berseem clover, and again buckwheat. We only applied 90 kilos of N to the oilseed rape, didn't get a fungicide, didn't get a growth regulator, very little weed control needed, and it did 1.5 tons to the acre, so I was quite happy with that. That was I missed the sale price at the top of the tree, as you do. But, it was quite, and then the wheat's just gone straight into that. This hasn't had any weed control on it at all. No herbicide on here.
No
yet so far.
herbicide.
No.
And I mean, I'm looking around. I can't see.
No.
I can't see anything. In
There was a good crop of volunteer rape on here when I drilled it.
Yeah.
Again, using the silicon and the biostimulant.
Yeah.
And what have you when we drilled. Bit of liquid phosphorus.
Yeah.
Can't think what else. Some micronutrient. I don't think we've been through the sprayer with a man-made chemical at all yet. It's had more silicon, foliar phosphorus.
Yeah.
Product called Pulsar, which is various micronutrients, some CETA soil, and the fish hydrolysate. It had Boost on the first time through, which is a QLF product which we use a lot of, and Citadel from Ava in place of the Boost on the second application.
Yeah.
So it's you know, again we tend to go through the crops often.
Yeah.
But spend very little.
Yes.
The biggest spend is actually on the cost of going through the crop.
Yeah.
It looks as though we're spending a lot of money on it, but basically at the end of the day we're not.
Cost.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
It is. Well, on time.
Yeah, diesel
know.
and time.
Yeah.
So what sort of soil have you got across the farm?
Well, I don't know if you want to have a look. We're on a probably not bad soil here. This did not get subsoiled last autumn. But the soil's not bad, you know.
No, some nice big
There's your
worms
big worm.
there.
Yep. You know, it's wet.
Yeah, which is going to be conditions.
It's wet, but it's fairly broken up. And look at your roots coming down here. You know, we've got roots there, what, 6, and you've broken those off.
Yeah.
Those roots are down 6 inches. I'm quite happy with the condition of the soil.
Yeah, no,
quite happy with it.
Looks nice
and
healthy.
and it's getting better.
Yes.
But it doesn't smell bad either.
No.
No.
Some nice big worms in there.
Yeah, we are seeing an increase in worm numbers.
Yeah.
And I think probably the worms have been a bit lower down. We found we've had quite a lot of water in that top 2 inches.
Yeah.
But then below that level, we've got a reasonable aggregate. You know, the soil breaks up quite easily and quite nicely when you get lower down.
So you're finding.
And your wormholes, you can still see in there.
Yes, there are plenty in there, isn't there?
Never too many.
Oh no. Did you find since you come onto the no-till that you're coping with the water better as time goes on?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we're certainly not spending the money on the cultivation. So,
obviously improving the carbon in theory.
I think we're just at the stage with this land where hopefully we will start to see a big improvement.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of fields that look a lot worse across the country right now.
Yeah.
So you're doing well.
No, thank you. And you know, this has only just had its 3rd application of fertiliser, but again, little and often we only put 30 kilos of N on in any one go.
Yeah.
Per hectare. So it is little and often, but it's about trying to keep the soil health and the biology.
Yeah.
Yes, put it back. You know, there are dairy farmers around. They're picking all their straw up off places where there's a lot of blackgrass. This particular block of land here we don't have a lot of blackgrass. Probably a little bit of brome, but not a lot of blackgrass. And I don't want to bring it in.
No.
So we are using sugars, the fish hydrolysate and products like that to get biology into the soil, and not use and cover crops obviously to get the roots. So as soon as this is harvested, this is going winter rye for forage rye, and then it'll go. We'll take the forage off hopefully in early May, and then we shall put an arable silage in, which will be peas, beans, oats, barley, vetch, berseem clover, probably crimson clover, as a silage to take off later in the year, and hopefully that diversity and that root, and then that'll get drilled back to wheat. So hopefully that root stays in the ground. We never disturb that. We shall try not to subsoil unless we're absolutely forced, or we want to move the tram lines or something like that. So we're keeping that fibre and the root mass in the ground undisturbed, which I hope is doing us a lot of good.
Do you have your soil tested at all, so you know where
we do our own soil testing?
Okay.
So yes, we do.
So you know exactly what the soil needs and
so
how best to look after it.
We tend to do it quite often to see where we are.
Okay.
A bit more across here. We've been through this 3 times with 6 times. 3 times with the sprayer, and 3 times with the spreader.
Yeah.
That's your tram line.
Yeah, hardly made a dent.
It carries amazingly well.
Yes.
Yep, there's your worms. There's your roots coming well down into the soil. Actually, we've not some nice white roots, look, coming down there. But it's quite friable. It's wet, but it's quite friable. It breaks up quite nice and easily. There's plenty of channels down into the soil for the water to get in the roots to get away. Well, last year we had 858 millimetres.
Wow.
Which is 200 mil more than we
Yeah.
than our average.
Yeah.
This spring obviously has been considerably wetter.
Yeah.
I think we've had twice as much rain so far this spring that we had last spring.
Yeah.
But we didn't start drilling last year till the 16th of this month before we got any serious drilling done in this area last year.
So you're not too far behind on the drilling campaign yet? Then?
No, we're not.
As long as this doesn't continue.
I think today is supposed to be the last day for a week.
Yeah.
But it needs to come warm and dry and just dry these soils out.
Yes.
I think it's very important not to direct drill until the soil conditions are right. I think you're better off to wait another week.
Yeah.
Get your soil conditions right.
So what soil conditions do you look for before you start drilling?
Well, I want it dry and reasonably friable down to drilling depth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind quite so much, you know, we let the wind out of the tyres and try to be as low ground pressure as we can. I don't mind it being wetter underneath.
Yeah.
But I want to be drilling into a reasonably open, friable tilth that we're not going to smear or compact. That kit in that shed is not mine.
Just looking.
No, we don't use that. It's the customers, actually.
Yeah.